Hey, welcome to my world. Won't you come on in? Hey, remember I had told you on one of the previous shows, not necessarily here on the YouTube, but whenever you feel as though you're getting angry at somebody, remember that I feel pretty, oh so pretty, I feel pretty and witty. Remember that's from the movie Anger Management, and it's a good thing to remember when you kind of get upset with somebody and you're ready to, burst on the scene. Uh, this segment, 10-minute segment that we have on the YouTube, I want to say thank you for being there. This is J.J. Feeney coming direct from the city of Davao in the Philippines and been here 5 years, and want to say hi to all those back home that I haven't seen, friends, relatives, just appreciate you being there, and I really thank God for the YouTube and my ability to be able to come in and just kind of see you, or you see me anyway. So why don't you blog me if you see me on there and just touch base with me and let me know what's going on in your life and who you are. So many of you, I miss you. I really do. I remember when I was back in America, from New York to Florida, I met a lot of people, and I'd love to hear from you. So contact me. I was listening to Andrea Bocelli now with the YouTube, and I'm a romantic, and I love music. And when this guy sings, it's like it brings tears to my eyes. It really does. He does a song called Sogno, Sogno, and when you listen to that, just like any of his music, and the way he sings and the heart and soul of his voice, it really allows your soul to soar. I jotted this down with deep emotion, the musical melody from heaven. And music is really for the soul. It's beautiful. It's inspiring. It causes you to think, to reminisce, maybe even to get a little melancholy. But that's okay, as long as it doesn't cause you to get upset with yourself. There are times when there are tears of joy, and there are tears, of course, of sadness. But me, I'm more in the joyful mood. Just quickly, I want to share with you on this particular segment how things can be related. My ex-wife, Justine, who's been watching the program, by the way, Justine, thanks for being in touch the way you are. But I, being from Brooklyn, was never introduced to music of classical or operatic. And I have to say that when I met Justine, we knew each other as kids. When I did finally meet her when I got out of the Army, and then we got married soon after, she introduced me to opera. And I never thought about opera as being something I would be interested in, being a rock and roller and, shoo-bop kind of guy. But what really became interesting to me is the fact that she introduced me to the opera, and more so the opera than the classical. But because of her, I began to develop a culture for and a desire for the singing, for the operatic singers. And then you learn a lot, and I used some of that when I was in my own singing possibilities to have a career in singing. And my ex-sister-in-law Maria and her husband Tommy, they both opera singers. They were able to help me with diaphragmatic breathing. But the reason I'm bringing all this up is that that's 50 years ago, okay? Somewhere in that vicinity, 50. I hate to say it's that many years ago. It's like, we're half a century plus old, But while I've been here in the Philippines with my son Vince, my stepson, 14 years of age, now I'm introducing him to opera music. So you see how, you pick up something somewhere, and you never know where you might want to transfer it to someone else's life. Now, he's a kid that grew up really, really beggarly poor in the barrio. Not beggarly poor, I shouldn't say that, but very, very poor. And without any understanding of real music. And now he's loving people like Andrea Bocelli, Josh Groban, and he's even interested in the opera, and he's interested in the ballet. He's got the potential, Vince does, of being a dancer, a ballet dancer. Or, I don't know about singing, but he's got dancing in his soul, that kid. He really loves it, and I believe that might be part of his, because he has a big desire to look at ballroom dancing on the YouTube, and some tap dancing from the old Fred Astaire and Gene Kelly days. So I want to say thank you to Justine and passing that on to me, and so I can pass it on to Vince, who's now here in the Philippines as a boy, growing up in a very poor environment, but yet with the richness of opera and the ballet, and that's really cool. I notice here, and I want to briefly run this by you during the few minutes we have, which we're coming down to the halfway mark. Age discrimination is a big thing here in the city of Davao and in the Philippines. And here's what bothers me, because, you know, lately I've been attempting to help people. This is a helps ministry. So I'm sort of the fighter for justice for a lot of people. I've sort of always been that way, even when I was in America. But if you're 25, pretty and sexy, they'll hire you. But if you're anywhere over 30, they will not hire you. And that, to me, is terrible. I mean, you talk about discrimination. And here's what I don't understand is what kind of a real advantage do you have by hiring somebody young and pretty and sexy when they don't really align themselves in the same league with the older people who, first of all, are wiser. They are wise. You know, you grow with age. Secondly, they're more mature. They know how to handle themselves. They've had experience. They're reliable and trustworthy. They're intelligent. They're, they're just the kind of people that any wise employer would want to hire. Now, here, as I say, it's such a discriminatory thing that I don't know whether there's any labor laws that are helping people to avoid that kind of abuse. But a perfect example is our helper, Karing. Now, Karing is 62 years of age, and there's a woman that I would never give up for somebody young, pretty, and sexy. And so when you think about it, where is the world going? With all that we have in our mind as people that are younger, prettier, and sexier. Meanwhile, the older folks, we older folks that have all of this wisdom and maturity, reliability, trustworthiness, intelligence, and we have a standard to live by. We have values. We have things to share with others that young people, just can't find the room to present to anyone because they just don't have it. So I think that when I realize what's going on here and why people are really sometimes rather depressed, because if they go to look for a job, and this is happening everywhere in the world because jobs are really going down rapidly. In America, many hundreds of thousands of people are losing their jobs because there is no money to pay for helpers. And even the people here in the Philippines that normally would go abroad, even in the Asia realm, which is where I'm at, Japan and China and Korea and Malaysia, they're not hiring either. And so I think when it comes right down to it, we've got to respect and honor the older people, as if it weren't for them, there wouldn't be a lot of understanding that younger people could pick up on. Because can you imagine if all we did was live by this younger generation without the knowledge of the older generation? Wow. I mean, we're in a mess, but we'd be in worse a mess. And so I say praise God to the older folks like me and a few others. And remember, the YouTube is where you want to go to check out my various videos, 10-minute videos. Very simple. You punch it in. You'll hear me for about 10 minutes on a particular subject. This one I would like to identify with as music for the soul. And along with that, a little bit of age discrimination and why wisdom is really found in the older people, and it's wasted on the young, because the young really think they're smart, but they really just think that, but they really aren't. So we want to remind you that we are here for you. Go to my blog, check me out. You can email me at johnnybgood8@yahoo.com or thecuttingedgembs.com. We'll see you soon.